Okay, so the goal of the Sunday session is that every week we want to analyze the market together, right? And we want to spot profitable zones where we should trade from. Is that simple? As a team, right? So that we are in line as to where price should reverse or not. So the major zones that I personally spot for entries are, supply and demand zones, which is, I do that because supply and demand is the foundation of, market movement. So regardless of the setup that you are using to trade, if you can look for good entries at supply and demand zones, you are most likely going to be on the side of, the market maker, side where market goes to move. All right. So we have been doing this every week for a while now, and I've been getting some interesting testimonials, people trading from those zones. All right. So most importantly, when you join these Sunday sessions, the recording is always available. Do well to go through the recording, and then the setups that we spot, highlight those same setups on your own trading view as well, or your own MT5 or MT4, and then look for entries at those zones. All right. They, at least I think we've seen accuracy of over 70% so far, if you have been following everything that I've been doing. So we just don't come to these meetings every Sunday just because we want to do it. If you are taking action, you will get the rewards. Okay, so let's get to business, guys. So just type in the chat box the pairs that you're looking to trade this coming week, and then let's analyze it together and let's spot some zones together. I would also analyze my own pairs as well, but let's start with your own pairs. All right, so DC says GBP JPY. Okay, so we'll start with GBP JPY. GJ, should have GJ here. Okay, we have GJ, we also have GBP USD. Okay, good. So we'll do GJ and GBP JPY USD card. All right, so let's wait for that to load up. Mr. Dida said Euro pairs. Okay. All right, we'll do that. Guys, hold on. There's something wrong with my trading view. It's lagging. I don't know. Possibly my internet connection. Okay, good. So we are back on. So this is GBP JPY. And then, okay. So let's start from the higher time frame. I'm going to delete everything here. And then we'll start on the weekly charts. So let's get a higher time frame perspective of GBP JPY. Now, if you look at what price is doing on GJ on weekly, see that price is in an uptrend, right? Overall uptrend. And then right now, price is retracing towards a demand on weekly. So on a higher time frame, we are seeing interest to buy in this zone here, to buy upward to continue the uptrend. But we cannot just click on buy just like that, because this is the weekly time frame. We have to go to a lower time frame and find a similar market setup. Okay, so let's go to daily chart. On daily chart, we are seeing the same. On daily, this is what we are seeing, right? We're seeing this move here. And what has price done on daily? We are seeing a possible change in trend. Okay, so this is a demand zone that failed, right? Demand that failed on daily. So possibly what we're about to see is for price to retrace into this zone and then come down a bit. Okay, but we don't know yet. So let me go to the 4-hour chart, and then I like to get my higher time frame perspective on the 4 hours actually. Now, looking at the daily, let me start this from daily. Now, based on what we have on the daily, I've seen this happen a lot of times when order flow wants to shift. Look at the structure on daily over here. Now, remember that we are on an uptrend, right? On weekly overall uptrend. But look at this move. Okay. And then let me even confirm something from my hacking machine. All right. So this good. So we can even classify this here as a bit of retracement. So we can do something like this. So the trend already shifted. So we can do something like this. And then you can see a trend shift. So price did this. And then you can see impulse correction, price touch this supply, and then boom. So on daily charts, GBP/JPY is on a verified downtrend. So if you're looking for entry on this guy, the best place to look for entries will be this supply zone here. All right. So this coming week, we might see price retrace into the zone, all right, and then we see continue to the downside, all right, and then possibly over here, this demand zone can kick in, because overall on the weekly time frame we are on an uptrend. So over here, when price gets into this zone, we might see a reversal, okay, that'll kick in the uptrend move, right? But right now, price wants to go down a bit, and then we can already see that trend shift on the daily. So right now, market structure on daily is that price on a downtrend. So the best thing is to look for sales, overall sales here. So wait for price to retrace into the supply zone, and then we sell here. Okay, but ultimately, you can also see this is also on this uptrend here. So price might not be ready to go up yet. So what can happen this week is that you might see price come down a bit, then go up, ultimately do this. All right, because I can see a block of demand here. So price approaching this demand. So that might be what will push price back into this daily supply. If we go to the 4 hours, what do we see on the 4 hours? Now, before that retracement is going to happen on daily, 4 hours has to confirm that price has shifted from the downtrend to an uptrend. Okay, this is just basic market structure right now. You can see the market structure on the 4 hours chart. Okay, very textbook structure. So right now, price is still very much in a downtrend. So it will be risky to start looking for buys right now, because there's no sentiment that this bearish move is coming to an end. So what price is possibly what might happen, okay, this week will be for this lower low to be taken out. All right, so price would come here, retrace a bit into this zone, and then we can now have something like this. All right, so I'm expecting reaction at this demand zone. So this is a 4-hour chart. When price comes down a bit into 162 and 160, all right, I'll be looking for opportunities to buy. So right now on GJ, I don't have a reason to do anything yet. All right. The other thing that you can wait for is that now you can see price is already on a downtrend as well on the 4 hours, right? So if price also gets into this zone, all right. If price also comes up a bit into the zone, I'll look for sell opportunities to sell it back into the zone. So when price ultimately get into this block of demand, I look for buys, and then I'm trying to look for buys into this place. It's as simple as that. So it's a good setup, but we just have to wait for this to align. All right. So we have to just be patient right now. So this might happen on Tuesday or Thursday. Okay. That's when we'll see a good setup on GJ. All right. So that's my setup on GJ. So what I'll do is I'll just come here, I'll set an alert at the top. I'll add an alert at the top so that when price gets into that zone, I know that, okay, I'm supposed to wait for something here. And then I also set an alert at this demand here. Make sense? DC. So let's check out GBP USD real quick. GBP USD. All right. So for GBP USD, if you were here last week, we already confirmed that price was on an uptrend on daily charts because we can see price doing this. So this is market structure into, let me just, there's a little bit of supply here. And then price did this. So and what did price do? Price came up, broke this zone. All right. You can see the uptrend, then retracement into the zone. So ultimately, GBP USD is on an uptrend. Likewise, Euro USD as well. All right. So if you check the dollar index, dollar is on a downtrend right now, which is why it is losing value against the pounds, against the what's it called, against the euro as well. So the pounds and the euro are recovering against the dollar right now. Okay. So now looking at this, we know that on daily chart price is on an uptrend. All right. Now we can see a possible, use a supply zone at the top here. So we might be expecting a bit of reversal this week. If that zone does not align, this zone ultimately might align over here. All right. So this is an uptrend, and this is a demand. This is a block of demand. So we are expecting a retracement right now. So the trend can happen this week. Price might retrace here, and then we look for buys, or price gets into this zone, comes down, gets in the zone, comes down, and then look for buys. All right. So two things that we can do here is very, very simple, is to look for sell setups in this zone and in this zone. And then if you're selling it, you are selling it into a block of demand. And when price gets into that demand zone again, we can look for buy opportunities to continue in that uptrend. All right. So this is a daily chart. Let's go to the 4 hours and get more clarity on what price is doing. Okay. So let's wait for the 4-hour chart to load up. Everything that we are doing so far is just still understanding the structure of the market, because we want to be on the side of market structure. Now your strategy might align, okay, but if your system does not align with market structure, you'll find out that even though your system has worked over time a lot, but because it is not in line with market structure, you are entering more losing trades. If your system aligns with market structure, your strike rate is going to improve seriously. Okay. So this is what price is doing on the 4 hours chart. Right now, price, you can see, is on an uptrend on 4 hours. All right. So, but we are anticipating a sell here. Oops. We're expecting a sell in this zone. Now, right now, a lot of people have already started trying to sell in this zone. As you can see this rejection here, price coming down a bit and then going back up. So Thursday and Friday, there's been a lot of, trust me, a lot of stomp hunt activity over here. So this zone is retail traders are interested in this zone. But what I think price should do is possibly, you might see price go up a bit. Okay, maybe ultimately into this zone. Because right now, market structure for me, on the 4 hours, I need to see that, okay, possibly price is ready to shift. Even if we go to a lower time frame like the 1 hour, let's go to the 1 hour chart. Now, this is the 1 hour chart. You can see ultimately price is still very, very bullish. All right. I'm so certain that on Friday, a lot of people would have tried to sell when they saw this candlestick formation here. So people sold over here, and then price went their way a bit, but ultimately, all right, price took out people's stop loss. So there's a lot of, distribution going on in this place. All right. So, and this zone, we are going to experience a lot of, market maker activity, or, some manipulation is going to happen here. But ultimately, there needs to be liquidity grabs here, okay, to usher in the downward movement that we're expecting. So it will take a lot of patience. You must wait for price to align, the market structure to align to a downtrend first. At least you want structure to be broken. Even on the 1 hour, structure was never broken. All right. So that's a lot of people were entered into the trade and then they were taken out. Right. So we need to wait for market structure to shift from bullish to bearish. So if you are just going off based on this market structure right now, what I'm waiting for is very, very simple. This is market structure right now. For us to know that this bullish move is almost over, at least we need to see this zone to be violated. Okay, so if this is what price, if this is the structure of the market right now, if nothing else is going to happen on Monday or Tuesday, you're waiting for price to break this zone. So you want price, so relax, let price break this zone. Let price give you that intention that, okay, I'm about to switch. So when price breaks this zone, okay, there is a supply zone responsible for pushing price down to violate the zone. That supply zone is now where you wait for price to retrace into. So when price retraces into that zone, right, you look for your sell opportunity. Okay, simple. All right. So when you see price moving, for example, most people have fear of missing out. Now, you know that possibly price is going to sell here. So when you now see price going all the way down, even though it does not align with your entry system, people just want to enter because you feel it is going down. No, don't do that. All right. Let price fully tell you that it is time for a trend shift, because check it out. What can happen this week is that price might even retrace into this zone, because price is still ultimately in an uptrend. So let me remove this. If price should retrace into this zone, for example, okay, this is a block of demand here, which might be what will continue the uptrend, right? As a matter of fact, you should even look for opportunity to buy here on the short term. Now, but I wouldn't really buy here, because based on higher time frame, on the 4 hours, I'm seeing that price is not in 4 hours, on the daily rather. Okay, on the daily, right, we are seeing a block of a supply here. All right, good. So let me go back to the 1 hour with that in mind. Okay, good. So over here, good. So this is not in that demand supply block. So if price should retrace into the zone on the 1 hour, it is okay for you to look for buys here ultimately. And then possibly now there's also a equal low here, which is liquidity that can be grabbed over here. So if price will come here and then you look for buy, it might also be a bad idea to look for buys here. Ultimately, I would say let price give you an intention for a downtrend, right? On the 1 hour, if you're looking at the 1 hour. But ultimately, I look at the 4 hours for my higher time frame point of interest. So right now, on the 4 hours, right, price is still very much bullish on the 4 hours. I don't see any intention to sell yet. As a matter of fact, on the 4 hours, I'm looking for opportunities to buy if price should do this. So this is a demand zone on the 4 hours over here. All right, so if price should do this, I'll look for chance to buy into the zone. So until maybe price breaks this zone on the 4 hours, then I'll know that, okay, this intention to sell is set. So then I say the buy is tempting because there's a demand, and to think DXY is bearish. Yes, yes, you're very, very correct. All right. Ultimately, over here. Now, when you look at this, this is the 4 hour demand zone. Now, let's go to the 1 hour real quick. Now, look at this 4 hour demand over here. If you refine it, this is a refined demand. Now, check out this. All right, this can be some form of inducement. All right, so price would possibly, let me do this. Price possibly need to take out this liquidity. You can see this equal low. Price might take out liquidity over here and then sell and then look for buys. All right, so you might be expecting a good reaction inside this zone. All right, hope that makes sense. I think Mr. Manuel was one that asked that question. All right, so we just have to wait, be very, very patient on Monday or Tuesday. Ultimately, I noticed that real moves in the market starts on Wednesday. Most of the time, the real move when it comes to structure and trend picks up midweek, okay, which is early Wednesday or late Tuesday. All right, so you might not see anything interesting to trade tomorrow and Tuesday morning. All right, so I'll be studying this pair. All right, so we have to wait for price to do its thing. Okay, so that is GBP USD for you. Nothing for me yet, just a bunch of speculation. I'll wait for price to show me more intention, then I make my decision. Okay, but ultimately we might look for buys in this zone, and then price might want to shift structure to a sell because we are in a daily, price is in a daily supply. All right, which other pair is there? Okay, what sound said USD card? So let's check out USD card next. USD card. So daily time frame on UCAD, price is in a downtrend. So before we see any kind of retracement, I think price has a long way to go for this downtrend. So it's best to look for sell opportunities on USD CAD. When you go to the 4 hours, what do we have on the 4 hours on UCAD? So what we're waiting for most likely will be for price to retrace into a supply on USD CAD. All right. And then of course the USD right now is weak, so it might be a good time to short this guy. So look at what's going on here. All right. This is where personally I would like to look for sales over here. All right, this might be a tempting zone to look for sales, but I think it is still at a premium, at the discount rather. How's it go? Wait, let me show you something. Less than 50%. Okay, so I'll wait for price. I won't use this zone. If I'll sell this guy, I'll wait for price to retrace into the zone, and then I look for sales here. So that's my take on USD CAD. Okay, so if you want to buy into the zone, you want to go to a lower time frame, like the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, you need to see intention that price has shifted. So right now on the 1 hour, price is still ultimately on a downtrend. You can see it very, very clear. All right. So for you to buy into the zone, you want to wait for price to violate structure first. So possibly you're looking for something like this, price you do this, and then retrace into demand, and then you buy. Okay, so that's what you can wait for on USD CAD. What sound? All right, but ultimately, when price gets here, to be a good point to sell, because price is generally on a downtrend on daily and on the 4 hours as well. Make sense? So let me just set my I like this setup. I'm going to set my alerts here as well. Set my alerts so that when price gets into that zone, I know that price wants to. Yes, sir, Mr. Alert. So let's check out Euro pairs. Let's start from Euro AUD. Euro AUD. Let's start from the weekly. Euro AUD on weekly, what do we have? All right, so check this out. Let me think of some scribbles here. Price was on a downtrend. You can see this. See this. This is weekly, by the way. And then on weekly, what do we see? This is the higher low that was violated. Okay, so violated, and ultimately price will retrace into demand, right? So price might still come back down before going up. So we are having intention that price wants to shift to bullish. All right, so this also speaks volume as to the trend of the euro. Okay, so the euro is really gaining a lot of momentum. So this is a weekly time frame. So we're expecting a downtrend. So is this move ready to come down? Let's see. Price still needs to, I would say, over here is a supply on weekly. So personally, I would expect price to still come up here a bit before ultimately we see the move down and then ultimately up. Okay, that's all the speculation on weekly, but let me mark that out over here. There's a weekly supply here. Now let me go to the daily chart. Now on daily charts, what are we seeing? What are we seeing on daily? Price on an uptrend here. Let me check something. All right. So you can see price on an uptrend, and over here, ultimately, good, is a block of demand here. So Euro AUD price is responding to a demand level right now. All right, and possibly what needs to happen is that this demand zone is currently holding. If you go to the 4 hours, you see the structure a bit clearly. On the 4 hours, on this demand zone, price has shifted from bearish to bullish. Let me show you that market structure. You can see in the structure into this. And then right now, this is the lower high, beg your pardon. Let me draw this out. This lower high. And then you can see there's been a violation of this zone. And then ultimately we are seeing price retrace. Price is retracing into this extreme demand zone here. Good. So price is reacting to this extreme demand zone here. And then we can see price immediate reaction here. Now, if this demand zone is going to hold, if it's going to be valid, our expectation is that we should see a higher high from. All right, so it will make sense to target this place. So this can be a good target. All right. So this is a demand zone. Ultimately, we know based on weekly, price still needs to possibly come up into the zone before we see a reaction. All right. So that's the story that we are working with. So price is at a demand zone right now. So we can go to 15 minutes and find an opportunity to look for buys. All right. So I think we had even missed a lot of this move, but let's see if we can see the entire setup on Euro AUD. All right. Ultimately, price is reacting at a 4-hour demand level right now. Let me make this clear. What is the structure on 15 minutes? We can see, excuse me. You can see price doing this ultimately. All right, see this, and then we can see violation of price of the lower high, and see the retracement, verified uptrend, price retracing into this demand. So price has already taken off on 15 minutes, right? So price currently moving right now. Okay, so in essence, let me do everything. So what we're expecting right now on the 15 minutes, this guy. If this zone, so we are expecting price to actually come up here into the zone ultimately, all right? So, but this is a supply zone. All right. If price does not break the zone, if price comes here and fails to take out this high, all right, then we're expecting a reversal, okay? And that reversal is going to take out this trend line liquidity here, all right? But ultimately, if you are following market structure on what we are doing, you are waiting for price to break this zone. When that break happens, you want to wait for price to retrace into a demand. And then when price gets into that demand, you want to look for a continuation of that uptrend. Okay, so that's what we have on Euro AUD. Ultimately, price is on an uptrend. Like I told you, if this, give me a second, if this zone, if this demand here is what we are working with. If this demand zone is going to hold, price needs to create a higher high over here. So ultimately, we're expecting price to still come up into the zone. So within this area here, it is okay to look for opportunity to buy on a lower time frame. So that's why we checked out what was going on 15 minutes. So on 15 minutes, we are looking for buy opportunity, because on the 4-hour, we have an expectation based on order flow for price to come up into the zone. Hope that makes sense, guys. All right, so on 15 minutes, so let's check out what's going on the 1 hour and see if we can see something a bit more useful on the 1 hour. So we'll check out Euro CHF and then Euro GBP next. I think that's the pairs that most people trade more on the Euro pairs. The same thing that we did on GBP USD is going to be the similar structure on Euro USD as well. So this is the 1 hour chart. Let me quickly do this on 1 hour. So on 1 hour, we can see the structure also just shifting on 1 hour. You can see price doing this. Okay. And then this is a high, lower high on 1 hour over here. And then we can see how this move violated it. So we can see the violation of that structure, retracement into an extreme demand over here. Okay, so 1 hour is also showing us that price has shifted or has given us an intention to shift to bullish. So we have a bullish structure, a bullish possible structure on 4 hours, a bullish possible structure on 1 hour, and we have a verified bullish structure on 15 minutes. So we should be looking for buys on Euro USD. Now, based on the 1 hour chart right now, I would advise that you wait for price to break this zone. Wait for price to break this supply here. All right, so wait for price to break this zone. Once price breaks this zone, wait for price to retrace into this block of demand here, and then you look for buys. And then ultimately, you want to exit the trade in this supply region. It's as simple as that. Okay. So let me set my alerts here as well. So that might take on Euro USD. Let's check out Euro CHF real quick. So what do we have on Euro CHF? Let me delete setup. Let's go to the weekly chart and check out the higher time frame perspective of Euro CHF. Okay, so on weekly, what are we seeing on Euro CHF? Price action, this is it. Downtrend over here. All right. And let me make this bigger so that you see clearly. So price was a downtrend, and then this is supply zone that has failed. This is a lower high here. Price broke this zone here. We have a break of this structure, and then possible thing that price needs to do right now is price needs to retrace into a block of demand. All right, so we're expecting a little bit of maybe push down on Euro CHF, and then that will confirm the chain. Let me confirm something on my Akin actually. Give me a second. Yeah. Yeah, so I would expect price to still come down. I would expect price to still come down a bit into the zone. So on Euro CHF, on the weekly, we are seeing a possible order flow shift, but price is not yet ready to confirm the bullish intention. Let's go to the daily chart and we'll check what's going on daily. All right, good. So on daily charts, let's check out the structure on daily. All right. Give me a second. Okay. So check this out. On daily, market structure always. The intention bearish. You can see this, you can see this. All right. So we can see a break of this zone. We can see break of this zone here. All right. So this is a zone that was broken. And what I would wait for right now is for price to retrace to this extreme here. So we have seen ultimate break here. When this break happened, right? If price is set to retrace on daily, we should have seen price retrace to a block of demand, but price did not do that. Ultimately, price went up, did a bit of smart placement up. So I'm expecting price to come down, take out this liquidity over here, and come down a bit into the zone. So on daily, let me delete everything. On daily, on Euro CHF, I would expect price to come down a bit here. So I'm expecting price to come down into the zone on daily, and then ultimately I buy into the zone. All right. So if I know that price, based on expectation of order flow, price needs to come down to the zone on 4 hours or lesser time frame, I'm looking for a platform to look for sales, right? So if you go to the 4-hour chart, right, we've already seen price shifted from bullish, from this bullish that was here to the bearish. So right now, the structure, you wait for price to retrace into this supply here. So your price to retrace into the zone. When price gets here, because there's a cluster of supply here, I wait for price to retrace at least to the 50% before I start looking for sales. Okay, to this middle here, and then we sell ultimately. All right, so Euro CHF is best to look for sales when we see price retrace into the zone. And is price ready to retrace yet? Possibly, because we are seeing this liquidity being grabbed over here. So price grab liquidity here. So this Monday, tomorrow or Tuesday might be the move that will push price into the zone. And then on Wednesday, ultimately, the real move should start and go all the way down. All right. Does that make sense, guys? Let me know if you are understanding this, if you understand this analysis so far. Give me some feedback in the chat box. Let's check out Euro GBP. So let's check out. So this will be the last Euro pair. If you have another pair that you want to analyze for the week, send it in the chat box. All right. In the chat box. So what's going on Euro GBP? Let's go to the weekly time frame. All right. Weekly Euro GBP is on an uptrend. Oops. What am I doing? Weekly Euro GBP, right? A verified uptrend, ultimately. And then we are seeing price retrace. Okay, Mr. Fish says USD JPY. So we look at that next. So possibly the last pair for the night. Okay. So Euro GBP, let me check out something. Is price ready? All right. So we might still have more push. Excuse me. So we might still have ultimately price needs to retrace into this demand. All right, which makes sense. This is liquidity or inducement, whatever you want to call it. So prices will take out this and then ultimately continue. So overall is the uptrend. let's go to a lower time frame and get more clarity on Euro GBP. Now, Euro and the pound. So this is the daily chart. What do we have on daily? Gold. Okay, we'll check gold out. What do we have on daily, guys? Look at what's going on daily charts on this guy. All right. We can see ultimately price was on an uptrend. This. And then over here, we can see this zone being violated. So the bullish intention changed to bearish here. You can see this, we can see this, and then we can see this. And then again, you can see the intention changing. So this is lower high that got taken out. All right, and then a change. All right, we are seeing this. All right, so price on daily charts is sitting at a block of demand. So price for me has been out intention to shift to bullish on daily. Now, when you go to the 4 hours, what do we have on the 4 hours? Okay. Same thing on 4 hours, you can see price doing this ultimately. All right, and price retraced into the zone. So price is in a 4-hour demand right now. 4-hour demand here. Good. So we should look for buys here. So already we have seen moves happen here. So if this demand zone is going to hold, we should see price print a higher high. All right. So ultimately, we are expecting price to come up into this zone here. So let's go to 15-minute lower time frame and see if you can see an entry over here. So this already happened. This already happened on Friday, actually. Okay. On Friday, let's go to the 1 hour. All right. We are expecting price to still come up into the zone based on the 4 hours. So we should look for a chance to buy. Now we can also see price also bullish on the 1 hour as well. So I would wait for price to retrace to a block of demand on the 1 hour chart. Okay, let me see a zone. Can we use this? Price broke the zone. Broke the zone. So this is a place where we can look for buys. This is a demand zone. Okay, so this is a 1 hour demand. We are just following market story here. Now, this is a 1 hour demand where we can wait for price to retrace into. When price gets into this zone, we can now buy it into this 4 hours expectational order flow here. All right. So if price is still going to retrace into this zone, that means over here on a lower time frame, we might look for opportunity to sell into this demand. So if you go to the 15 minutes chart, let's see if the order flow has shifted to bearish. Now on 15 minutes, what do we have on 15 minutes? Now check this out. Uptrend. All right. And then we can see this order, this demand zone here was broken. Okay. We have some sort of flip in this zone. So right here on 15 minutes, you want to wait for price to retrace into this zone here. So if price should come up into the zone, so this is a good zone to sell. When price comes here on 15 minutes, you want to sell into this 1 hour demand here. And then when price gets into this demand zone, you look for opportunities to buy into that 4 hour zone. So whichever one comes first is what you do. But ultimately, I think price will get here on 15 minutes, this on Monday or Tuesday, and then price will trace into this 1 hour, and then you look for sales here into the 4 hour zone. So let's check out USD by Mr. Fizz, UJ, USD and then we'll check out gold next. Oops, I like Rwanda. Okay, so USD let's go to a higher time frame like the weekly. What do we have on weekly charts? All right, so ultimately, ultimately price is in an overall uptrend. Okay, price is retracing to this demand here. Okay, let me check something. All right, good. So that's it. So price is pressing into the zone. Ultimately, on the weekly, we're expecting price to come here, to come down a bit, and then continue the uptrend. Okay, so that is if the US dollar is going to recover actually. So possibly, if the US dollar is still going to be weak, then we might see price actually break this zone. Then we'll see price retrace into supply, and then that will inform the downtrend. But we don't know yet. So let's go to the daily chart. If we know that price will come into this zone like this, then we can look for opportunity to sell price into this place. So we can find something to do on what time. Let's check the daily time frame and see what's going on. So on the daily, all right, you can see structure being violated already over here. Okay, so this is a higher low. I can also see potential demand here. So price ultimately needs to come into the zone before we see any form of reversal. So over here is a block of demand. All right. So what can happen this week is price will come into this zone. If price comes into this daily demand, all right, it's a good zone to look for buy opportunities. If that buy should happen, we're going to see price retrace into. So two things can happen. Now there's for people that understand demand and supply, you understand that this is a sell to buy week. So this is a supply zone actually, right? So if price should come here, we would expect price to retrace into this zone. So if price comes into this zone, which is a form of a flip zone based on this guy here, we might see a reaction here. Okay, then ultimately push price down, or this zone might fail, and then we'll see price get into this zone and then come all the way down. But we don't have any, just some speculation right now. Price is not at the zone where we should be looking at action yet. So my action point or point of interest on UJ based on daily would be for price to react at this demand. When price gets into the demand zone, I'll be looking for buy opportunities, right? But I need to get my confirmation on the 4 hours and 15 minutes that there's intention to buy first before I enter buy. Hope that makes sense, Mr. Fitch. So I'll wait for price to come here first. All right. So this can happen on Monday or Tuesday. All right. So UJ moves really, really quick as well. All right. You can see this model candle strong. All right. Let's check out last pair for the night. Let's check out gold. We're looking at gold. Gold has been going our way actually. All right. Let's check out gold. Give me a second. All right, so gold. Gold on the weekly, price on overall downtrend. Price is approaching the supply. So what might happen overall is our price needs to come down from here. That's based on weekly. Let's go to daily charts. So on daily charts, what do we see? On daily chart, price is in an uptrend. Price, as you can see, has taken out liquidity over here. All right. You can see this inducement here. Price has taken it out. So they on gold this week, if price should enter this zone, we're expecting a downward move this week if this supply zone should hold, rather. So this is a refined zone on daily. So you wait for price to come up a bit. When price gets up a bit into the zone, it will be a good time to look for sell setup. Okay, and then when you sell it, you can sell it short term into the zone or into the zone. Ultimately, if this zone is going to really hold as a supply, then we are seeing gold get to somewhere here. Okay, a lower low forming. So 1615 ultimately. So if this supply zone should hold, all right, it's going to push price to form a lower low, which is 1615 ultimately. But price is not ready to sell yet. We need price to enter this place. So a bit of up move still, we're waiting for a bit of an up move into this supply. When that happens, you can look for sell. So at between 1786 and 1800 is a good zone to look for sells. So when price gets into this zone, don't just take entry like that, because for all you know, price might just break it. Before you look for sales, you want to confirm that price is indeed ready to sell. You need to see the order flow shift from bullish. Right now, price is in a strong uptrend on a lower time frame, like 4 hours. You can see price is an uptrend. Before you sell, you need to see that this uptrend, a structural zone in that uptrend, needs to be broken before you look for sell setups. Hope that makes sense. The person that asked for gold, what's your name? Mr. Christopher. So for gold, I would wait for price to come up a bit. When price gets here, I'll be waiting for the order flow to shift to bearish before I look for sell opportunities. But ultimately, this is a weekly supply. Okay. All right, guys. Any more questions before we go into the night? So we should be out of here in the next 5 minutes. Any more questions? Any more questions? All right, guys. Like I always say, you only want to be entering perfect setups. You don't need a lot of trades in a week, right, to hit your goals, right? If you can wait, when your setups don't align perfectly, okay, leave it, and don't be in a rush. Let's say you miss a setup, for example. Don't be in a rush to enter another trade, and then because most times you won't wait for the right decision. You won't make the right decision. Okay, enter the perfect setup. There's plenty currency pairs that you can trade. If one pair has gone, go to another pair. Trade at structural zones in the market. Always confirm from market structure. It is safer to confirm from market structure before you take entry based on your strategy. And then if you're able to do that and wait, your strike rate is going to improve. You start getting very, very high win to loss ratio. Okay, so that's it. All right, guys, in the absence of questions, I think we are done for the night. Thank you so much for everybody that is here. I wish us all the very, very best this new trading week. If you have any personal question, feel free to reach out to me on my WhatsApp, and then I'll do my best to answer your questions. All right, let's have a remarkable, remarkable week, guys. God bless you guys. Cheers.